A New Jersey mother is accusing members of the school board she serves on of targeting her in a, quote, vile text scandal, and is now speaking out to Fox Digital about the incident. Danielle Bellamo, who serves on the Marlboro Township Board of Education, shared screenshots of messages she says were sent by board members or their spouses. One provided to the New York Post reads, quote, "I swear she can't die soon enough," and, quote, "I'm going to slaughter her now." The person who allegedly sent those messages also reportedly called Bellamo a lying word that we cannot say on television. He also is accused of writing, quote, "Mission is to just let her die by herself." LOL, these people are parents who wrote this. A judge last week extended a protective order against that man, and that mom told Fox Digital, "When I read those words, 'she can't die soon enough,' it stopped me in my tracks. I always knew there was disagreement politically, but I never really wrapped my head around the fact that they actually wanted me dead." The school board releasing a statement to Fox Digital, quote, "The Marlboro Township Public Schools takes the safety and security of all board members, staff, students, and families extremely seriously. The administration has responded accordingly to Ms. Bellamo's concerns, including her expressions of feeling unsafe by working with the Marlboro Police Department." You know, Ainsley, as I'm reading how this affected this woman and her children, she says, "My son is almost a teenager. He used to go to places with his friends. Now he asks if someone is going to come to our house. My 8-year-old cries if she thinks I have a board meeting. My youngest keeps asking if I'm safe."
Oh, my gosh. I mean, what is wrong with having a conservative on your school board?
Yeah.
Heaven forbid.
Right.
We need a medley or what's the word I'm looking for? A potpourri of opinions on our school boards because they represent our students and our families, and we're all different. This lady needs to sue. She needs to go to the police. She needs to file a complaint. This is where you draw the line. We all believe in free speech, but when it's a danger or a threat or you're threatening to kill someone because of their political beliefs, enough is enough. And if the school board or the superintendent, if they don't do anything about this, they're complicit.
Yeah,
Yes.
no doubt they've got to do something about it. I mean, Emily, some of these people, they're parents, as I noted, and she said she was so disturbed because one of these texts was written allegedly in the meeting. So it's not even like you're a keyboard warrior, right, in your own mind, sitting behind in some like dark room writing this. Like you're looking at the woman as you're writing out some of these messages.
Yeah, I think I'm nauseated in this moment. Like reading it, it's nauseating to me how cavalier people can be with life or death. It just makes me sick to my stomach. And the callousness and the psychopathic like emotion that you have to fire those off and think it's funny, to do it for, I am sure, the dopamine hit of the respondee, the other school board member being like, haha, you know, laughing it or whatever, like that it revolts me. I wish the school board or the statement that you read, I wish that had been a little more emphatic and say we unequivocally condemn the vile nature of these violent text messages. Everyone has been removed. Everyone be expelled. And the thing is, as we know, like whatever you are as a parent, your children absorb. And even if you try to hide it from them. So her children are absolutely traumatized. You read specifically that they know about it, but that is horrific for them to feel in fear for their mother's life. And to your point, for what? So there's the death penalty for being a conservative on a school board. And she was being brave. She actually was doing what so many people don't want to do, because everyone says, which I despise when they say that, well, you get who you vote for. A lot of it is because really great people don't run because they don't feel safe or they feel it's futile. And this is an example of that. So I hope that now there is criminal liability and penalty for all of those individuals. And by the way, if she hadn't been able to have Fox Digital on her side, would we even know about it?
Yeah, and you know what's sad is I'm not shocked by it, Charlie. And I'm not shocked by it because I want to bring up the election results in Virginia of the Attorney General Jay Jones. There are more than 1 million people who voted in Virginia for a man who fantasized about killing his political rival. Look at that. He got 53% of the vote, more than 1 million people fantasized killing his political rival, and the children as well.
Yeah, sadly, and of course, that's for Attorney General. That race was for the highest law enforcement officer in the state of Virginia, and he won by a significant margin, which is absolutely shocking. And sadly, as you're saying, a lot of this behavior is learned from politicians, and we've seen so much of the vitriol directed at President Trump and MAGA parents, MAGA voters. And this idea that you can just say whatever you want to about people, and then you're surprised that you get trash like this at a school board meeting. This is a school board meeting. You're not supposed to have this. We're supposed to be talking about like how to educate children, and instead we're sitting here having this insane conversation about adults acting like not even children, like nasty, disgusting punks.
And apparently, Donna, she was just in there advocating for curriculum transparency and parental rights. So that caused a raging fire in this individual, this man.
Which is what she should be advocating for. To Charlie's point, that's exactly what they should be doing. I mean, this is just a bigger, broader problem. And what's interesting to me is we hear these stories all the time. We've heard it when we're watching parents get pulled out of school board meetings by security guards because they don't like what they're saying. We've watched parents get up and advocately talk about what they want to have, the books that they don't want in schools, trying to promote transgender. We're seeing it all the time. But what we don't see is in red states and red jurisdictions, you never hear the opposite. You never hear of anybody You never hear of anybody that gets up in a very red district and says something that somebody's bothered by and that they're being put on blast, that anybody's trying to assassinate them. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah,
so
right.
we just don't see it there.
You don't see it. I mean, send all the examples, guys, because you don't see it.
Right.
All right. Don't miss the brand new Fox Nation crime series, The Weekly Rap Sheet. It's co-hosted by Donna Rotuno, Paul Morrow, and Josh Ritter. It debuts this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time exclusively on Fox Nation. Donna, tell us about this.
So excited to be part of this show with Paul and Josh. We're going to be dissecting different stories happening on the criminal sphere, different cases. Next week, we're going to be talking about the poor girl that was murdered on the cruise ship. This week coming up, you're going to hear about the sports betting scandal. You will hear about the sports betting with the
NBA
mafia, with the mafia and the NBA. We're also going to be talking about the Brian Walsh case and the cocaine boats.
Wow.
Nobody breaks
Those
these
are the three
cases
things.
down better than you guys do.
Yes,
Every time we
yes. I was
actually
going to say,
in.
this trifecta hosting, you guys, like, I will be watching this every week.
you.
I will set my alarm for it. I hope you guys too, because
Emily's
Donna, Paul, and Joshua are incredible.
Your true crime podcast as well. We got a long list of talent here.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.